And I've never experienced like scary stuff. I wasn't a believer or anything like that.
Say the sister is dead, right?
And I felt someone just like push me, like.
I'll start off with the stories of the rancho.
That's like the only stories I actually have.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
So, back in like 7 or 8, 2008, I want to say, I moved to this little city.
City. Small ass fucking
this hole in California with population of like
2,000 people?
No, I think maybe it was 5,000 by the time that we moved.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people. But yeah, we moved out there. That's like close to the Mexico border. It's called El Centro.
Oh yeah, El Centro.
Well, no, because the rancho is considered part of Calexico. We moved out in the city. It was like no houses around except the ones that were like in the land. There was like maybe, I would say like 4 houses around there. And we lived in the main house, the first house that was built in like those acres. And this house was owned by this one lady who had a like restaurant there as well. It was called like Mount Signal.
Oh shit, you remember the name?
Yeah, because I remember asking, well, I told one of my friends back in high school that I had moved out there, and they were asking like, you know, like, where? And so I...
Bitch, where?
I don't know where. It's in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
And so I told them that it was, because the lady where we moved in, she said that the restaurant that was there was called Mount Signal, and there was a sign that you could like barely read. And I told her that. I was like, well, it's like where the Mount Signal restaurant used to be or whatever. And that's how I found out that it was like haunted. But
wait, there's more.
There's more. So I didn't believe him, right? I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. I had never experienced like scary stuff. I wasn't a believer or anything like that. So after we moved there, my parents would work like long hours, and I didn't have a car, or I do know how to drive, but I didn't have a car. And we stayed there by me, my little brother, and my younger sister. We would stay there by ourselves. And I'm not too. What?
Your older brother was there though? No, right? He was.
No, he was. But he worked night shifts or something like that. I can't remember. But yeah. So we moved up there, and nothing happened for like the first, I want to say like weeks that we were there. So I didn't believe anything that anybody would tell me like when we were at school. Until one time, it wasn't even dark. It was like later that, like in the evening, like around 5 or 6, that the sun was still out, and I heard like silverware being dropped like at like the sink. I don't know how to explain it. Like it was just metal against metal.
like forks or something.
Yeah.
Just being.
And it was like not just 1 or 2 of them, and I had just washed the dishes, so I was like, I must have left like a spoon or something like on the very edge or something to where it like fell. And so I went to go check, and there was like no spoon or fork, anything like on the floor. So I was like, oh, I just kind of like brushed it off because, I don't know, it was just stupid. And then that was the first thing that happened there. And it happened multiple times before anything else started happening. And I didn't tell like my parents or anything because I didn't want them to think that I was like crazy or making up stuff because we had moved away from like the city. Like weeks or maybe a month or 2 after that had happened, it was like the middle of the night, maybe like 2 in the morning or 1 in the morning. And I literally heard like what is it called? The
shovel?
Yeah, a shovel, like a metal shovel being dragged like on the rocks, like outside, and that creeped me out so much. Like that was one of the things where I was like, okay, what the fuck's going on?
There's something else.
Yeah.
Right? Uh-huh.
So I like woke up and my window doesn't have curtains, but my windows were like high up on the walls, so I didn't really need curtains, and there's like nobody living in that freaking land except like one person there. And she was like, she was wild, like a couple of, what would you say?
Yeah, no, 60s?
Yeah, like she was old lady, like
She wouldn't be
No.
out there digging in the fucking dirt in the middle of the fucking
She had a son that was there, but he was also older.
Like,
and
older, like in his 30s or whatever.
Yeah, like maybe close to his 40s.
Yeah.
But
I would say.
I got really scared, so I went to go wake up my parents, and I told them that, you know, what I was hearing, and I don't think I like reacted right away to where I ran to the room and told them, because by the time that I woke them up, you couldn't hear shit. Like there was like no noise at all. And I told my parents, I was like, I know I hear someone out there with the shovel. And so my dad goes outside and he checks, and he's like, there's like no one out there. And like, I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, fuck. I was like, okay, they probably think I'm fucking crazy now. So then he tells me to go back to sleep, and I'm like, okay, fine, like, whatever. So I go back to sleep, and I didn't hear anything for like a couple of days, and then I heard it again. And this time I was like, man, I'm not gonna wake up my parents up, because they already don't believe me. So I like tried like to get on top of my bed and to try to see like if there was like anybody out there, and I swear, like I couldn't see anything. Like I had a wide view of like the whole backyard and nothing at all. Like I couldn't see anything. And so I was like, okay, what the fuck's going on? I can't remember what I did after that. I don't think I even told my mom. I think I just kept it to myself. But a couple days, maybe weeks go by, and then my mom tells me that she's having nightmares. I don't remember what kind of nightmares she was having, but they weren't.
They weren't dreams.
No, like all I remember is her saying that the nightmares were in the house. Like they were, like she was in the house where
she was dreaming of the house.
Yeah, like everything was happening in the house. And so one day she like wakes up and like panicking and says that she's trying, like we had a fan, like all the windows in this house, do you remember? They were like in the rooms, in the bedrooms, they were all up like high. I don't know why.
They had high ceilings.
They had high ceilings, yeah. And then her bedroom had like 2 windows, or maybe just one. And it was like huge, like long, but it was like up high.
It's huge and long.
Huge. And so it was big. It was big enough to where they managed to put one of those squared fans up there. And so the cord, the plug, would like go down like that into where their bed was, their bed frame. And so she said she woke up from this nightmare and she was pulling on that cord, and they were sleeping like directly under that, and it was my younger brother, my younger sister, and my mom and my dad. So when she woke up from the nightmare and she realized what she was doing, she like started freaking out. She told me this the next day. And then she asked me if I had like seen or heard or anything like that, like if I had similar dreams, and I was like, no, like I don't have nightmares about the house. And I started telling her about the spoons and all this stuff. And then at night, like all the floors are like wood. Hardwood floors. So every time you would like walk, you could hear it like squeaking. Yeah. So I would sometimes hear like people, well, obviously it wasn't anybody, but like steps, like if someone was like walking. But again, I didn't think much of it because I thought it was either my brother who would come in like at night, or just, I don't know. I guess when you like live and you're like scared, like if you live in a haunted place, you're scared of like certain noises, and you just start blaming it on certain things.
You
like,
try to make sense out of it.
Yeah, so you don't really like pay too much attention to it. And I started blaming like those noises on like the turtle, the big turtle my mom has, and like the dogs, because the dogs would sleep inside our house, and it was just like stuff like that. My mom went to go talk to this lady that lived in the back of our house, and she said that her sister was like the owner of that place, or before she died. And so she started telling us like the story of her sister and how she still sees her like spirit around there, and I was like, what the heck? But my mom was like telling her about her dreams and all this stuff, and this lady was like, don't worry, like I'm gonna talk to her and I'm gonna let her know that that's what she said. She said, I'm gonna let her know that you guys are okay and that you guys can live there and that you guys like don't mean any harm or whatever.
Put a good word in for us, please.
And so my mom was like, oh my god, like that lady just told me that. I was like, what the fuck? I was already freaked out. I was like, damn, what if it is that old lady doing all these things? Like, right. Not my sister, but her.
The lady actually lived.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my god. And so, literally like a couple like days later, my mom went back to that lady, and the lady was like, oh, you know, ¿quieres un cafecito? And so my mom stayed there to like talk to her, and the lady was like, yeah, I already spoke to my sister. She said you guys were okay. She wasn't gonna bug you guys anymore. I was like, oh,
you did say the sister was dead, right?
Oh, I don't know. The owner, the one that was the owner there.
Well, the lady.
She was deceased. The lady my mom's talking to is alive.
Is alive. But the other one who says that she's gonna talk to her sister, the sister's
deceased.
Yeah,
she died years ago.
Past fucking years.
I think maybe at that time, like I think she said like 10 years from that time.
Oh, and that lady would still say that she would have coffee with her sister.
Oh yeah, she would say that she would have coffee with her sister every single morning.
Every morning.
And that every single morning, her sister, she could see her sister walk out of the house, like through the side door. And I was like,
yeah, she crazy.
What the fuck? I was like, at this point, I was like, she's probably fucking playing with us. She's just going along with what we're saying because she actually thinks that we're fucking crazy, you know? She's like, man, I don't want to like tell these people anything wrong and then they end up like killing me or something.
Right.
So I was like, oh my god, she's joking, right? She's gotta be joking.
God.
So I swear, after my mom like told me that same thing, that's what that lady had said, I was like, what the heck? The next day, nothing happened. Like, my mom didn't have nightmares, and she would have nightmares like almost every single night. She didn't have nightmares. I hadn't heard like anything, like noises and stuff. And it's not like I heard them every day, but I don't know.
Frequent.
Huh?
But it was frequent.
Yeah, it was frequent. But after that happened, like we didn't hear anything till one night. So I have a younger brother. At that time, he was maybe like 9 or 10 years old. I was like brushing my teeth in the only bathroom the house had. And so I went to the bathroom and I left the door open.
Oh yeah.
And I was brushing my teeth, and this restroom has like the mirrors aren't like from the bathroom. They were like the frame ones, like the ones that you just hang on the wall.
Oh yeah.
Like the regular ones. So they were hung like pretty high. I don't know. I guess maybe tall people live there or something, or maybe I'm just too fucking short. So I had to like tippy toe to like look myself in the mirror. And so I was like already like brushing my teeth and everything, and I was washing my face, and then I felt someone just like push me, like not like hard, push me to where I like fucking hit my head on the wall. Yeah. But it was enough to just like move me. And so my reaction was like, Eric, stop. And Eric's my younger brother. And I didn't hear anything. Like, I didn't hear him giggle. I didn't hear anything. So I was like, what the fuck?
He said,
and I see the curtain, like the shower curtain, just like move like with a little breeze. And so I'm like, he's fucking hiding behind the shower curtain. And I open the shower curtain and there's no one there. So I'm like, what the heck? And I like remember like not hearing like the footsteps while he's like running away or anything. And he was pretty heavy around that time, so I would be able to hear him. And so I'm like looking around like he's fucking playing games with me. And so I go and look for him. I'm like, Eric, what the heck? Why did you push me? And I hear like nothing. Nobody like is in the house or anything. And so I'm like, Mom. And she's like, I thought she was in her bedroom. She wasn't even in her bedroom. She was outside. Oh God. She was like outside hanging like some clothes in the room. And I see that my dad's out there with her like holding a flashlight so she could see what the heck she's doing. And then right next to them was my brother. And so I told my mom, I'm like, Mom, you know, Eric just went into the bathroom and like pushed me. I'm like, what the heck? And she's like, when? I was like, right now. She's like, no, he was here the whole time. I was like, no, he was in there and he literally just pushed me. And Eric's all like, what the fuck is your problem? He's like, you're fucking crazy. And I was like, no. And then literally, like, I felt like I was the craziest person in that fucking house. I was like, Mom, I'm seriously, someone just pushed me in the restroom. And she's like, well, it wasn't Eric. You know who it was. I was like, nothing has happened ever since that lady said it was fine. And she's all like, well. So that, I think, was like my breaking point or whatever, where I was like terrified at that point. Like, I was scared of the other stuff that were happening, but this one kind of like shook me, like, especially because it was at night. I was like, oh my God. And then after that, my mom started seeing a girl who was like my age and my height, and she would like think that it was me for some reason. And she saw her like once or maybe twice, and she's like, yeah, you were wearing this last night. I was like, Mom, I don't even own any clothes that's anything similar to that. She's like, no, it was you. I was like, no, the fuck it wasn't. That was not me.
Just time.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of scary shit happened there. That's like most of what I could remember. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I wish we could go back to the house.
Oh shit, we should.
Yeah. I think someone lives there. We should like go over there and like interview them and
be like, hey, do you guys go through shit? Like, do you guys witness shit?
Like, is there any scary shit that happens here? Funny thing though, that after all that happened, we stayed there for a whole year. We stayed at that house for a whole year up until our contract was over. And then later on we found out that that lady had a bunch of money, like just money
buried within the
bags.
house, I think.
Yeah, and people were saying that they was buried like within like the walls or something, and that's why she would. That's why she would like haunt that house. I don't know, but nobody ever found that money. At least not that we knew, and I guess that's why she still haunts the house.
Never been blessed.
That's not a blessing, that shit's scary.
I don't know, but I have never been able to see anything or anything of that nature. I believe in it, but...
Tell them about that one time that you did the, was it an EVP outside?
No, man, but I forgot, like... I don't know what the fuck, I was just out there, I was drinking, I was fucking trying to see if I can hear any kind of spirits or whatever. All I did was like ask, is there anyone out here with me? And what came back when I played it, when I played the audio again, was in front of you. I was like, what the fuck? Like literally, it was just me by myself. And I'm like, is there anyone out here with me? And it said, in front of you, something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, what the fuck? I went inside, I was like, alright, I gotta go.
You played it back.
Yeah. And then I went upstairs with Diane, and she's like, nah, that's funny. I was like, what the fuck? No, I'm serious.
No, you could hear a whisper. I couldn't hear or like tell what it was saying, but there was a whisper. Mm-hmm. Mostly I ignored it though because...
I think it said behind. I thought it said behind or some shit. It said something in the direction from me, but yeah.
But I mostly ignored it because I'm afraid of that kind of shit.
I feel like trying to see if it was.
It's like 1:16 right now. It's like the worst time to talk about this thing.
Not really.
I just feel like every time you talk about certain stuff like that, like it just, I don't know, maybe it's just me.
Like it happens, or you start experiencing shit.
Yeah. And I've never experienced anything in my house ever since we moved here. My mom likes to say that she has, and she does.
And no, you should.
I've never seen it though.
I don't
She would even say like in plain daylight, like she would like think that someone would just like, she would see like a shadow. But though I don't know, what is it about our windows?
Oh, like
Is it because it's a double windows?
I don't know, but the window's pretty wide, and you can see like when the mailman comes, you can see a shadow, and like, oh, the mailman's here.
And like the shadow's like all the way over here though, like it's weird. Or maybe because of the way that our house is facing.
Yeah, because it's facing north to south. So it's always getting fucking sunshine, but
yeah.
I don't know. I don't really believe. Oh, but when we did move in here, in the attic, we found some crazy shit up there.
Oh my god, I had totally forgot about that.
Yeah.